Hey guys, you are listening to Insights with Kathleen,
Please join us while we share our insights and experiences
with the hope to inspire you to look inside of yourself.
for the answers you already have.
As with all information we receive,
Take what speaks to you
and leave the rest.
Welcome back, everyone.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, did anybody notice anything different?
Well, I mean, the people hearing it on audio don't, but you guys are listening on YouTube.
Yes, welcome.
We're YouTube
Thank
official.
you.
Hello guys, how are
Thank
you
you
doing?
for joining us on YouTube.
I know you guys get to see what we look like.
Lucky you.
Yeah, I wonder, right? Like when they're listening, I wonder what they thought we looked like.
I bet
And-
you any amount of money I looked way better in their imagination than what they're seeing right now.
I mean, I referred people to watch, so they're probably like, I know what Cherry looks like, but maybe not this Kathleen character. Who is this?
She's a character, all right.
She's a character. We finally got the face reveal.
Ta-da!
And she got her makeup all did.
I did. Thank you, Caroline. She helped me out.
She's great.
I didn't realize, Sherry, how much I did not know about makeup until Caroline was
Really?
doing my makeup.
You're just like, sure. And you're like, wow, there's so much stuff. It's so
It's like,
intricate.
wow, to be a girl.
Right? I know.
It's lovely to be alive and be a
Oh,
girl.
I love that. Now we have a topic.
Do we now?
Yes.
I don't know. Can we just sit here and laugh for a little bit?
We'll laugh for 10 minutes and that will be the entire podcast.
and then we'll say thank you for joining
Hopefully
us.
that uplifts your day. So we did this once and now we're doing it twice because we had our first take.
But Sherry just loves telling you all our secrets.
I do because
I cannot tell her anything because she's just going to tell you all before.
but it was great. We had like our little thing and now we're doing two and now I feel like super like vamped up and re-energized.
Really?
I do.
Okay, so what's the topic?
The topic is dreams.
Ooh.
Okay, that's a big topic, but I kind of wanted to like narrow it down a bit. So
Wait, before we get into that,
okay. Yes.
So, you just told everybody this is like take two,
Yeah.
but they had no idea why it's take two.
I don't. Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. This is what I think, right? I think people like seeing the process of how things work, and it's kind of that adage of like, hey, you don't gotta be perfect, and everyone goes through like,
Really?
outtakes and stuff like that. Even though we,
our blooper was a doozy.
Yeah, our blooper was a lot of singing and laughing. But yeah, just for those of you out there, don't feel bad. Everyone needs a take
Doesn't
two.
need to be perfect.
Yeah, right.
80%. Good enough.
80%.
So dreams.
B.
I'm going to be dreaming about this.
You're gonna be dreaming about this. So
Will it be a dream or a nightmare?
no, it's gonna be a dream. It's all good. It's all good.
It is.
It's all good.
It is.
So I guess for me, what I wanted to talk about, or like the topic I wanted to present, is dreams. And like, I know for me growing up, I thought, oh, sometimes I have a dream and it's like a really weird thing that has nothing to do with my life, or maybe it has something to do with like the movie I watched or whatever, and I think nothing of it. But then as I've been talking with you, I didn't realize how powerful dreams can be and all these different things they can do. And I kind of wanted to talk a bit about that because I don't know if everyone knows that already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can remember being younger and having dreams, and there'd be some dreams that like I just didn't want to wake up from because they were just too yummy,
Too chocolatey.
too chocolatey,
Too delicious.
too delicious. And you're just kind of like, I feel so cozy here. I don't want to wake up from it. And then there's other dreams where it's like, wake me up. Somebody wake me up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for me too.
Yeah, so dreams, centuries people have talked about dreams for forever.
Oh, for
right?
sure, yeah.
There's documentation. I mean, golly, just the Bible itself talks about,
Right.
dreams and how Joseph interpreted dreams to the king. I'm sorry.
There's a dog on the floor.
Lily is moving around in my feet, and I'm just trying to figure out what she's
I thought
doing.
you were going to say, Joseph, I think he had a dream
I
or
was going
something.
to say Joseph and the magic, the rainbow coat or something
Yeah.
like that, right? And how interpreting those dreams.
Right.
So our dreams actually are a window into us.
Oh, for sure.
Into ourselves, and it's rich with information.
Yes.
For anybody who would want to go out there and dig for it.
Right.
And some of the basics for doing that is to understand our own symbols, like our what things mean for us.
Yes, please talk about that, because that rocked my world when you told me about those.
So some of it is it's like a little deciphering you have to do for yourself,
right,
initially, and then once you figure those things out, then it becomes a little bit easier, right?
Okay.
So, for instance, like when we dream about other people,
right,
it's really not about that person. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's different types of dreams, right? We have premonition dreams. We have, just our regular dreams, and then we have dreams where our soul's actually traveling, right? But we're not going to get into those, okay? Because that's a whole nother
series,
big thing. Yes, and then for premonition dreams, we're going to kind of leave that to the side as well,
right?
For right now. But we're just going to talk about like the regular dreams that people have that helps them work out stuff that maybe there are things during the waking day that we don't have fully resolved.
Right. Yeah.
So dreams are a good way to help your psyche to figure those things out.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's an adventure. Look at it like it's an adventure.
Yay. Adventure.
Pack your suitcase. Here we go. So you want to take a little bit of time to figure out what do different things represent for you. For instance, for me, I have certain people that, like, when they pop up in my dreams, I realize, oh, that person's representing deceit, or that person's representing love,
right?
Romantic love, even, or self-love, right?
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's maybe a beloved animal, or that I've had that had since passed on, that might come into my dreams, and how did I feel around that animal? So dreams are about feelings,
right?
And the symbols in the dreams, the best way you can figure that out, what do they represent for you, or for you, is what feelings do they invoke?
Oh,
yeah,
that's a big one.
It is. So it's okay. It's being honest with yourself,
right?
And it is a way to help you get in touch with your own feelings, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Can you share some of your experiences?
Oh gosh, there's so many. But I guess a big thing whenever I'm like telling you dreams or anything, you're like, wait a minute, but how'd you feel? Because sometimes I could get so caught up in like, oh, it had this thing and this person and that and this and all these other things. But you're like, but what was the feeling behind it? What was the driving feeling that you had? And within that, I found so many answers that I didn't even realize I had within me about maybe a particular thing or situation that I was experiencing like a couple of years ago, or that month or that week or whatever.
Yeah. And it's funny because I was sharing a dream with Cherry about I always make jokes in the waking day, and please, I hope this doesn't offend anybody, but I always say how special I am for a short yellow school bus special. Right. Well, I actually, for the first time ever, had a dream of a short yellow school bus, right?
Yeah.
And so in my dream, I'm kind of going, what's that about? But it was more than just the short yellow school bus. It was all the other components in there. Right. Because then that school bus kind of was like a home on wheels that I got to take anywhere. So then in my waking life, I always joke around with my own family that, hey, this would be kind of cool if I could just have like a little home on wheels. I can just take it anywhere. So when I go up to visit my dad or something, I can have my own space and, and whatnot, and then just be able to take it wherever I go.
Right.
So to know that is something that's kind of always in my waking life that I sort of joke about, or I talk about, or researched. Right. Now it's showing up in my dream. So that's a clue that I need to kind of like dig a little deeper into that. So what's the feeling behind that in my waking day that I recognize, because there's a need. Right. So how's that being played out in the dream? Right. And then coupled with the cameos of all the other characters that show up in your dream. Right. And then just understanding, okay, so what's the activity in the dream? What's the feeling of the activity? Right. What am I, the dreamer, feeling? Right. Plus, you and I've gotten into this. What vantage point am I watching the dream?
Yes, that's a big one.
Right?
Yeah.
So am I the dreamer watching myself play out something in the dream? Am I watching it from the first person? You know, on and on. That all makes a big difference too.
Right.
Right?
Yes. Yes, very much so.
So when you figure out some of your clues, and this doesn't happen overnight, does it, Cherry?
No. Sometimes I'm processing a dream for like a week. Yes.
And then how about you for figuring out your symbols? Like, how long did that take you?
You know, that took me a little bit. And you want to know why? I want to know why. I think for me, the reason would be like who the symbols are. So a lot of times, like, past significant others would be in the dream, and I'd freak out being like, oh my gosh, do I still like them? Am I going to see them? And then I get into all this turmoil. But then I had to realize, okay, what is the first feeling I get when I think of this person? And then it just kind of clues me into like why they're in their dream and what it's about and how it pertains to me. And it's just different parts of me.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I remember having a dream where I was still married at the time, but it was just really unhealthy.
Right.
And being, you know, raised as a good Catholic girl.
Right.
You know, you don't ever get divorced. Ever. Doesn't matter how bad. You just don't get divorced.
Oh.
Right? But there was this piece of me that was like, I had worked so hard to get healthy.
Right.
That I'm watching myself go in the opposite direction. I mean, like, from being, so let's say when I was younger, from being victimized to getting healthy to like spiraling totally the other way to like having thoughts of abusing the hell out of my then husband, right?
Right.
And there's other extenuating circumstances there, so I think that I probably would have gotten away with it just because of what was going on. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. But I at least recognized that within inside myself that this thing was happening where I can like almost feel myself dropping into the abyss, like with no way out. And then one night I had a dream, and I dreamt of my very first boyfriend, who I'll have to say I was madly in love with. Very unhealthy relationship. But considering for how unhealthy I was anyway, it was what I needed at that point in time. Right. But, you know, there was still this connection. And here I'm dreaming of that person. And this person is, you know, I'm telling him, I'm going to leave him because I want to come take care of you. Because that very first boyfriend is sitting in a chair dying. And I want to take care of him. And he's raising the question, well, what about your husband? And I'm like, no, I'm letting him go. I'm divorcing him. And then in the dream, I see these spiritual figures at the time were really important to me. Yeah. And they're all in my dream giving me a blessing. So, of course, I took that and ran with it. And I'm like, okay, I'm divorcing this man right now.
I need to leave.
But see, for me, though, I had already been interpreting my dreams. So I understood that very first boyfriend was representing the love in me, my own self-love, my own self-worth. And it was dying. It was dying. I needed to do something to save myself. Right. Divorcing the man was the best thing I could have done. Right. Right. So, but it was a really complex dream. Right. Yeah. Right. And no one could just jump to that. Right. Without practice, without figuring out what your symbols are. Right. Of course. So that's how I was able to make a really hard decision in my life. Right. By taking that time to get to know myself, not only during my waking time, but also during my sleep time. Right. So when I have those dreams, and this is why, you know, you and I share, we share the dreams. And
it's like our exciting thing that we do. We're like, I had this amazing dream, and, you know, we like to just break it down, which is very cool. I know for me, the biggest one, because I know with dreams, it's like kind of the subconscious, like kind of just filtering through, and you're just uncovering those different parts of you. So I know a big one for me is just, you know, loving of self, loving all parts of me for who and what they are. So a lot of times I would see like these really steamy romantic dreams, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to be seeing someone very soon. But I had to break that down. That took me like, a couple months, because I kept having dreams like that. And it wasn't until I was like fully honest and present with myself of like, oh, well, these are aspects of me and these are also aspects of me joining together as like one union. And that's kind of what it was for me.
Yeah. And then, how you've had dreams where, and maybe you have too, where maybe you woke up the next morning and you were feeling some serious feels, like you were either mad or sad, or, because something was being worked out in your dream. Yeah. But you woke up with those sensations.
Oh, yes. I definitely told you that many times. I'm like, I'm just pissed off.
And that's all fair. And that is your psyche. It is part of your body trying to say, hey, these are feelings you can't shove down anymore. You need to feel this.
Right.
You need to feel it, clear it.
Yes.
But you can't clear it unless you're feeling and dealing. Feeling and dealing.
Feeling and dealing. That's the new shirt. No, that makes a lot of sense, because a lot of stuff would come up in my dream and I'm like, this is so unpleasant. I don't want to ever think of this again. And sometimes I think of, because when you're saying with clearing, right? I don't realize, I guess I just didn't realize when I was having the dream and just it going forward and me having the feelings, that is the clearing out of it. Because I thought, I have to like know what's going on with me right away, and I gotta troubleshoot, and I gotta this dream's telling me this, and I gotta do that. But sometimes it's just about being and feeling. Being. Yeah,
being and feeling
something and dealing.
Yeah. What I find interesting is like, when I hear you share those stories, and then when I think back, like I remember having more of those feeling dreams and waking up in such a funk. Right. Back when I was younger and I wasn't totally coping with all of my feelings. Right. That I just sort of brushed them aside. And when we brush our feelings aside, we're devaluing ourselves. Aw. Right? Yeah. So we don't want to do that, because we're worthy. We're worthy to be loved for all that we are. We deserve it.
Of course.
We deserve to be loved for all that we are. Yeah. Right? And part of you are the feelings. And they're very important. It's also the universal language. Did you know that?
Yes, it is.
I'm tripping all over my words.
It is a universal language, and I really just didn't realize that until you would ask the question of, how do you feel when you're in this dream? Not I didn't say who, like what is the feeling that you're getting with these activities or these situations unfolding? And I was like, wow, okay, yeah, that makes sense. The universe communicates through feelings, so it makes sense.
The universe, the world we live in.
Yes.
Right? We may not be able to speak all the different languages, but we all have feelings.
Oh, for sure.
And we have that full spectrum of feelings.
Yeah.
And with all of our different triggers, right?
Yes.
And dreams help us navigate all of that.
Yeah.
And so I encourage you, dear watcher and listener.
Yes, please.
I do encourage you to take that time and do an experiment. What's going to hurt?
Right.
Nothing. Yeah. Just give it a go. Have some fun with it. And see how dreams can awaken your life. Oh,
man, mic drop. I have nothing else to say.
Thanks for joining us. Take care. Remember, you are bigger than anything that you are going through or anything that is happening around you.